I recently read the book Little Bets by author Peter Sims. Peter Sims has studied dozens of people and organizations who develop great products in environments of great uncertainty. Two subjects detailed in his book Little Bets are Chris Rock and Pixar Studios. Chris Rock is one of the best comedians of our time, and Pixar is a California-based animation studio who has created 17 consecutive blockbuster films. Both Chris Rock and Pixar expect their products to be perfect, but their approach to work is anything but perfect. Both Rock and Pixar have an experimental approach to developing their ideas, an approach that Peter Sims calls little bets. By making little bets, they are able to identify unexpected possibilities and build up to a great end product. Author Peter Sims defines little bets as concrete actions taken to discover, test, and develop ideas through the acceptance of affordable failure. When Chris Rock sets out to develop a new HBO comedy special, he goes to his local comedy club in New Brunswick, New Jersey, unannounced, and performs in front of 50 or fewer people, while carrying a yellow legal notepad of jokes that he scribbled down throughout the day. His jokes are undeveloped, and most of them fall flat on their face. For 45 minutes, he'll ramble on, lose his train of thought, and consistently refer back to his notes. His performances are painful to watch. His audience often folds their arms and looks noticeably unimpressed. Peter says that Rock tries hundreds, if not thousands, of preliminary ideas, out of which only a handful will make the final cut. Chris Rock knows that even after a decade of producing hit stand-up comedy shows, he can't predict which jokes will be a hit and which ones won't. But Rock deeply understands that ingenious ideas almost never spring into people's minds fully formed. They emerge through a rigorous, experimental discovery process. Chris builds his way up to an HBO comedy special by determining what he can afford to lose along the way. Those losses are contributing to the larger payoff of a highly successful show that will be seen by millions. When Pixar starts developing a new film, they spend a few years producing a huge number of storyboards, most of which are thrown out. You see, storyboards are these hand-drawn comic book versions of a potential film scene. As Pixar has increased their success, they've also increased the number of bad storyboards they produce. A Bug's Life had approximately 27,000. Finding Nemo had 43,000. Ratatouille had 69,000. And WALL-E had almost 100,000 storyboards. During the initial stages of film development, storyboards are presented to a creative director, with the best case scenario being a clear direction to pursue the scene again. Ed Catmull, Pixar's president, says that this is how Pixar's films go from suck to non-suck. They develop thousands of rough storyboards and work through thousands of bad ideas to get a film that doesn't suck. Pitching storyboards is Pixar's way of making little bets. The rejection of each storyboard within Pixar is an affordable loss that the Pixar team members are willing to take in order to discover a scene that works and a movie that doesn't suck. Pixar reduces the risk of presenting bad ideas by plussing almost all ideas that come their way. They are careful to remove the link between a stupid idea and a feeling of being stupid, by finding some small thing they like about an idea and then adding to it. For example, I like the way you drew Woody's eyes there. What if we made them a little wider? Both Pixar and Rock are perfectionists that are doing creative work, but they don't let their perfectionism paralyze their progress. They routinely think in terms of little bets by embracing the following mindsets. Number 1, the initial work will suck, and that's okay. Pixar says that when they show films, they always expect them to suck at first. Even after a lifetime of comedy, Chris Rock still expects almost all of his initial jokes to bomb. Start approaching your work like novelist Anne Lamott. She says, "The only way I can get anything written at all is to write really, really shitty first drafts." She says, "All good writers write them. This is how they end up with a good second draft and terrific third drafts." Embrace the fact that your initial work is going to suck. but then embrace mindset number 2. Failure is okay because failure can be designed to be small and affordable. Pixar uses hand-drawn comic sketches that are easier to throw out. Chris Rock ensures his initial performances are made in front of small audiences, of 50 or fewer people. He's willing to look foolish in front of a small audience in order to one day look great in front of a larger audience. You'll be more willing to fail in order to learn something if you make the worst-case failure something you can live with. If you have a big decision, make a series of smaller decisions with limited downside to test assumptions and uncertainties. If you have a big presentation or a wedding speech coming up, go to a local Toastmasters group and test out your presentation in front of a supportive crowd to gain feedback. To develop great work amidst a great deal of uncertainty, you need to be willing to make little bets. You have to be okay looking bad in some small way and embrace imperfection if you want to end up with a perfect product. So make little bets to reveal the path to a perfect solution. That was the core message that I gathered from Peter's book. It is a great read with many anecdotes to further the message of little bets. I highly recommend it. If you would like a one-page PDF summary of the other insights that I gathered from Peter's book, just click the link below and I'll be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. Thanks for watching and have a productive day.